Hello, my name is Douglas Bloch. I'm an author and mental health educator. Welcome to your Depression Recovery channel, where each week we talk about practical tools and coping strategies for healing from depression and anxiety. Title of today's video is called The Best Thing That You Can Do for Someone in Need, but we always have to start off with our joke, which has become a ritual. So, did you know that the first French fries were not made in France? They were made in Greece. A very nice pun indeed. Anyway, those of you who have been following me for a while may recall that in August of 2021, about a year and a half ago, I had a hip replacement surgery, and I documented on this channel how I went through the recovery and the ups and downs. Well, needless to say, recovery from a major surgery is difficult, but in February 27th, just 2 months ago this year, 2023, I went through a knee replacement surgery, and there was no comparison. The pain that I felt when the anesthesia wore off was so great, I couldn't hardly stand it. Even though I was taking medications, I couldn't sleep that night, and I had to double up on the medications, and then I could barely function. As a result of this incessant pain, my sleep became disrupted, and I developed a case of insomnia. I said, oh my God, that's the canary in the coal mines. Every time it's happened before, I've gone into a depressive episode. It's going to be no different here. And just as I was really starting to get super worried, I got a call from an old friend named Hannah. And after she heard me talk, she said, Douglas, I know you're discouraged right now, but believe me, you're about to enter a whole new lease on life. Because once your knee heals, you're going to get back into cycling, which is your passion, walking, being more social with friends. And as a result, your whole outlook on life is going to change. I said, are you sure? She said, absolutely, I'm sure. I feel it in my bones. I've known you for 35, 40 years. This is going to happen. Well, Hannah spoke her words with such conviction and such authority. I said to myself, well, maybe she is right. Maybe things will get better. The following evening, I got a call from my 39-year-old niece who wanted to check in on me and see how I was doing. I described my situation and my fears that I was never going to get better. She said, there is no doubt, Laura was her name, Laura said there was absolutely no doubt, I have no doubt whatsoever that you're going to come through this. You've come through these crises before, and every time you've done so, you've used what you learned to help other people. This time is no different. I think you're going to come through this, share your knowledge to help other people going through similar pain. Believe me, God is not finished with you yet. Your work is just beginning. Hearing Laura's faith in me made me believe once again that recovery was possible. And in the days that followed, anytime I started to become discouraged or hopeless, I simply remember what Laura and Hannah had said. I closed my eyes, just replayed their words in my mind, hearing them, thinking of their faces and, imagining them being right in the room with me. And when I did that, suddenly my mood shifted. Not a whole lot, but at least enough to bring me out of that dark place. Now, I don't know if any of you have been on the receiving or the giving part of this process, but there's actually a name for it. A lot of people haven't heard of this name because it comes from metaphysics, but it's a really powerful name and a powerful idea. It's called keeping the high watch. Keeping the high watch means holding in consciousness the best outcome for a person or situation. And the situation usually means what's going on is that the person is facing a challenge that they don't believe they can overcome and essentially needs somebody else's support. So when you hold somebody in the light and keep them high watch for them, you're essentially saying to them, I know right now that you don't believe you can overcome this challenge, but right now let me lend my faith to you. You can borrow my faith until you are strong enough to believe for yourself what I'm already believing for you. Not only have other people kept the high watch for me, but I've kept the high watch for other people, especially when I was running my depression support groups. There's one particular member named Jessica who would come every maybe 6 or 8 weeks and report that she had a downturn in her mood. And like many people who have gone through multiple depressive episodes, she immediately catastrophized and said, oh, I'm starting to have a dip in my mood. Uh-oh, I'm headed for a complete relapse. I would say to her, Jessica, it's easy to believe that just because you're sliding down a little, you're going to slide down a lot. But I want to tell you, you are stronger and more stable than you think. If you just practice the depression recovery tools you've learned in this group, I'm sure that you're going to get better sooner than later. You're going to look back at this and see it's nothing but a speed bump in life. Now, I wasn't saying this just to be kind. I knew from weeks and weeks that Jessica, in fact, had learned the coping skills that we teach in the support group and knew how to practice them. And sure enough, within a few weeks, she came out of her dip and was just fine. In conclusion, if you're going through a tough time and having doubts about your ability to make it through, you don't have to do this alone. You can ask someone else to keep the high watch for you, or in other instances, you can keep the high watch for something else. All of this boils down to one central fact about mental health recovery. We are not meant to do it alone. We are meant to do it in community. This has been Douglas Bloch. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something from it or found it very useful or helpful. If so, please leave your comments in the comments section, or you can email me, douglasbloch@gmail.com. If you'd like to subscribe to this channel, simply click on the photo in the closing credits. You'll be taken to my subscribe page, where if you click on the bell to the right of the button, you'll be notified every time we do a new video or new live chat. They're held every Sunday at noon Pacific time here on the west coast of Portland, Oregon. And if you want to contribute to this station and become a sustainer, simply click on the Patreon symbol when that comes up on the screen. And until we meet again, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. Remember, keep the high watch.